7-6 after his early scare right about here when he missed his braking mark on his outlap into the Pedrosa corner. Marc, as he so often does, he's just a master. He's so good, isn't he, at just judging where the limit is, finding the grip, understanding where you can push and where you just need to back off that little bit. Marquez is almost 9/10 of a second clear of Jack Miller. Miller, the Aussie, the only rider at the moment is able to lap within a second of Marc. Yeah,
we saw him skating off at the Pedrosa hairpin earlier on. That's almost part of the Marc Marquez process. Many riders will start at 90% and creep their way up to 100. Marc Marquez almost starts at 105% of the limit and then works his way backwards, and it seems to work for him, doesn't it, with the level of success he's had over the years. We've spoken about the riders who this is a real opportunity for this morning, but I guess from the other point of view, I'll be watching the Aprilias closely in this morning session and as we go through qualifying, because I think back to Goiânia in Brazil a couple of races ago when we weren't in too dissimilar circumstances to this circuit that's been even on this Super Saturday morning. From the moment we arrived at the circuit around about 7 o'clock this morning, there was already barely a spare space to be found over that stadium section. The Spanish fans here just love their MotoGP come rain or shine.
Tell you what, somebody might be having a dabble at slicks by the time we get to qualifying. Just looking at the lap times, what are we on? A 49.3. Top Rak Razgatlioglu is coming to the party. Top Rak's just gone second. We've got yellow flags out in the first sector. It is, unfortunately, Joan Mir who's down at turn 2, just on the exit of the Michelin corner then for dear life.
Yeah, you might want to get off the racetrack there, Joan.
Yeah, I mean, he really should be getting a marshal's flag here, shouldn't he?
Well, there goes some
was the bike still running? I
well.
mean, he should have started from behind the barrier as well. I guessed it must have been still running.
Yeah, it must have. I mean, it was a fairly slow speed crash. We haven't seen the replay of it nor the onboard from Joan Mir, but he's trailing debris and carbon fibre underneath that Honda, and that's surely going to disappear and break free now as he picks up speed down the back straight.
Yeah, he needs the meatball flag
the
here.
marshals and race direction surely will be watching this very, very closely.
Yeah, he should be getting the meatball flag, the black flag with the orange disc, which means you've got a problem. You need to pull off the circuit immediately. I can only make the assumption that the bike clearly, obviously, did not stop running, because if it did, then he has to. Yeah, there you go. Joan Mir, right on the cue, is being told, could you please depart the Jerez circuit immediately, sir?
And if you don't, you will be in some serious trouble.
Yeah, Joan Mir then. This is him toppling off. So he obviously parted company with that bike. Yeah, immediately he's gone.
I mean, if we skip like this, so as I said before, we have a good chance. We need to work on the electronics, because at the exit of the corner we are not so really good compared to the other one.
Thanks, Gino. Thanks, Jack. Thanks to Gino Borso. It looks like Pedro Acosta is going to absolutely steamroller himself into P1. He does. Acosta, the first rider in the 48s. That's some lap that by Acosta. I think I just saw the graphic there. He is out on a fresh rear Michelin rain. Tricky conditions is Ayagura. He'll be thanking his lucky stars that he's already through into Q2, because the Japanese riders struggling. A 151.893 from the track out of Pully rider. Ayagura's over 3 seconds off of the best pace. Alex Ring just 1 place further ahead of him. Fermin Aldeguer, you can understand why perhaps he's still a little bit cautious to really go into full attack mode in these mixed conditions. Aldeguer still in recovery mode after that serious femur fracture he suffered right at the beginning of January in Valencia. He has impressed, so has he, since getting back on top of that Gresini Ducati. Fermin Aldeguer, the Mandalika Grand Prix winner. When you look at his recent run of results, 8th in Brazil, 11th in America. So he scored points in both of his Grand Prix since returning to action.
Caught up with Fermin after practice yesterday, and he's certainly one rider who was very pleased and certainly was making the most of the unforeseen and unscheduled break that we had with the rescheduling of the Qatar here yesterday to take 8th overall.
Is it going to be dry enough for slick tyres? There's a dry line emerging. Now, Gino Borso said there are clear still some wet patches that are keeping the riders out on rain tyres, but you do wonder, moving forward into the morning schedule, by the time we get to Q2 in particular, whether somebody's going to take a punt on Michelin slick rubber. Luca already back inside the top 10. He's another rider that's in the 49s.
It looked to me as if it's the sort of third to the beginning of the 4th sector where it's wettest, sort of through turns 8, 9, 10 and 11. That certainly looked to me where there was a little bit of spray still being kicked up. This is where Pedro Acosta is now as he comes out of turn 10, and yeah, there's no real sign of much dry time. Just a few very small patches of dry time out there. You wouldn't get through that sector of the racetrack at the moment on slick tyres.
This probably would have been dry had it not been for a rather slick tyre action this morning. Great shot there, clear visor of Razgatlioglu, tipping that Pramac Yamaha into the turn 1 right-hander, then over the crest down the hill into turn 2 where Joan Mir crashed, and he's almost certain to get himself some kind of sanction after ignoring the black flag with the orange disc. After he had the technical problem, rejoined the circuit with gravel pouring out of the belly pan, and rejoined the circuit with all kinds of bits of a factory Honda flapping around underneath it.
I've had a couple of other riders go for a fresh rear tyre, both for the medium rear. Salvadori and Agura on their Aprilias. We're running on board with the Aprilia of Marco Bezzecchi here, who's into the final sector. We saw him shaking his head, and I think we can see now he was shaking his head at. It's Alex Marquez.
Well, yesterday he was full of compliments and lauding the performance of Alex Marquez. There was a signal, wasn't there, on the cool-down lap after practice, almost like, calm down, calm down. Then he sort of gave Alex a thumbs up as well. The body language as Fermin Aldeguer's toppled off at the final corner. You can just see there's on the outside of the long lap penalty clip. You can just see there this legacy of the left femur fracture. Look at that. I mean, Fermin Aldeguer fractured his femur, was it on January the 8th or January the 9th in Valencia 4 months ago. I think he actually said rather bizarrely, he finds life easier riding a MotoGP bike than actually normal life, you know, just walking around.
So whether the stewards choose to have a look at that, we'll wait and see. Whether they'll perhaps be a little more lenient given the circumstances of a wet session and the current situation. But Alex Marquez will know better than anyone after what happened to him yesterday not to make that mistake. Yeah, we know Simon Craper obviously very well, being a former colleague of ours in the commentary box here. Whoa, he hasn't, has he? He has. Absolutely phenomenal. Look at this. He was down. Our crash statisticians were just marking that down. There's a top Razgatlioglu crash here at turn 13. Well, it was almost an unlucky turn 13 for Toprak, but save. Somehow he has kept it on 2 wheels. Gino Borsoy, we're all doing that. He's the tallest rider in MotoGP. He needed all of that wingspan there, didn't he? As he's a little bit more cautious and careful through turn 13 on that occasion. What a morning he's already had, being up in 5th place, but he's certainly stole the show with that save. That was ridiculous. That was just explaining himself as yellow flags are out in sector 3. That's he's about to hit those yellow flags. And it's Brad Binder who's sent his KTM halfway to the fence on the outside of turn 8. Brad Binder, of course, in moments is out there in qualifying 1, so that is a bad time to make a mistake such as that. And that's a pretty rapid old get-off there.